I have a deep, abiding fear that I've never accomplished what I set out to do. Even though I have seen the effects of my actions and seen how the world is shaped in my wake, I also wonder, why can't I make it happen on purpose? Why can't I get the results that I want? The closest you'll ever get to perfection is a feeling of completion. Your gut instinct about when something is done should not be overrated. Perfectionism is a form of narcissism. Believing that you are somehow capable of perfection, even in the realization of your own intent, or even capable of defining or recognizing your own intent in a way meaningful to anyone else, is total hubris. Aspiring to any ideal first requires belief in one ideal, superseding all other ideals. You kind of have to think you're better than everyone else, at least at doing whatever you're trying to do, and without realizing that you always will be by matter of course. I don't really believe in validating one's existence. I think from an evolutionary standpoint, your birth contributed all of the data that it had to for the species' advancement, and that's as close as I personally have to any instinctive sense of a moral good. You were born. Good job. Most people don't even feel this way about themselves, though, much less anyone else, and especially anyone farther than themselves from their own ideal. Even being interested in others has a kind of odd narcissism to it. You could just go about your day, but you feel a need to involve other people, even if it's only on the level of listening to what they have to say. But how much you care depends on proximity to your interest. You are engaged when you feel involved. It's hard to care about something that you can't understand or which has nothing to do with you, and deciding that you must care is an act of arrogance. Why do you need to involve yourself unless you believe this should have something to do with you? I think an element of narcissism is inherent in the human experience, and only something we label when someone doesn't care to realize how everyone else is reining it in. Sometimes a perfectionist is a ruthless abuser, like the archetype perfectly defined by J.K. Simmons' performance in 2014's Whiplash. But more often, their ideal recognizes inclusivity, and so they task themselves on top of doing perfect also to inspire perfect, to work perfectly with others, and to be never failing in interaction at any scale. They often feel empathy to the shortcomings they recognize in others, but rarely for those who don't seem aware of or intent on improving their own. A perfectionist is holding themselves to such high standards that they start to think that the only thing impeding their vision is the fact that so few other people are also holding themselves to high standards. And so they feel comfortable in abusing those people, because they would abuse themselves in the same ways if they found themselves guilty of the same shortcomings. Worst of all are critics, who are so afraid of failing to make something great that they can only commit to espousing the greatness of whatever they recognize for closer approximating their own ideals, and otherwise admonish anything which feels inferior to